is actually interesting. And there is a large percentage of people in this country who actually want to secede from the Union. Changing America back in 2021, this is The Hill, said shocking poll finds many Americans now want to secede from the United States. Well, okay, let's start with Texas. What's going on over in Texas? Now, a lot of people are arguing that when Texas joined the Union, they reserved the right to secede outside of any other normal Union agreement other states would have. Texas, this is fascinating, was an independent nation. And when Texas was offered to join the Union, the offer was to create 5 states, not just Texas, but Texas could be broken up into 5 different states that would each join the Union. And they said, nah, we'll keep Texas the same. One unified body. It would have been very interesting if Texas did join as 5 different states. It would imagine how the vote count would be held today. It would be substantially more conservative. Newsweek says advocates for Texas's secession from the United States believe they're on the verge of scoring a crucial victory. And of course, this is from last Friday. The Texas Republican Party's executive committee is set to vote over the weekend on which ballot propositions voters will decide during the Republican primary elections in March 2024. One measure would ask Republican voters, quote, should the state of Texas reassert its status as an independent nation? Ahead of the vote, the Texas Nationalist Movement, an organization that supports Texas's independence from the U.S., warned the GOP they have enough signatures to force a vote on the question. So we're not quite at the point of vote. They are preparing to make that vote. I believe we have a tweet here from the Texas Nationalist Movement saying the TEXIT petition has over 100,000 signatures. Now it's time to get TEXIT on the ballot this March. Yeah, there's a long way to go. And this is, I don't know, probably wishful thinking for people who are wanting Texas to secede. But, I got to be honest, I'm reading some of these articles and I agree with some of these activists. If Texas were to secede, the net worth, in my opinion, of Texans would skyrocket. I really do think so. I can make it really simple for you. No more U.S. regulation on Texas labor and manufacturing and work, and they would instantly absorb tons of companies. People would instantly just be like, if we open up or operate out of Texas, the tax rate will be dramatically lower. And there you go. Of course, then you'd have, I guess, tariffs or something on importing goods into the United States, whatever. Texas nationalists have for years pushed for a referendum on Texas secession, despite the fact there is no provision for a state to secede from the U.S. Constitution. That doesn't need to be. The state seceded from Mexico in 1836 and spent 9 years as its own nation before becoming a U.S. state. It also seceded from the Union in 1861 before being readmitted following the end of the Civil War in 1870. Now, the fascinating thing with Texas in the Civil War was that Texas didn't join the South because they were ideologically aligned. Texas joined the South because they were geographically locked out. Crazy, right? It's true. The position on Texas was they're surrounded by Confederate states in every direction. And so if the Confederacy, at the time, there's no war, these states were like, we are no longer the Union. Texas is like, well, what are we supposed to do? We are locked out from the Union. We can't be in a union and have this gap between the states. So they were just like, I guess we're with the South. Didn't work out so well. In June of this year, our organization launched a petition campaign under the Texas Election Code. The section 172088. The section allows voters by petition to place a question on a party's primary ballot. In short, by collecting 97,709 signatures and submitting them with a filing deadline on December 11th, we could actually bypass the SREC's ballot proposition process and compel the party to place the question on the ballot. I want to stress, it's a primary ballot. This is not an official referendum in the state to actually secede. Newsweek reached out to the Texas Republican Party. If the question makes the primary ballot and passes, it would not be legally binding, nor would it mean Texas is actually seceding from the U.S. Still, it would be a key victory for secession advocates who critics view as a fringe belief that would face significant hurdles in a general election. I don't agree. I'm not convinced they would actually win, but I do not agree. Take a look at this